If you are experiencing foundation issues, get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
Well, bringing sunshine wherever he goes is Jimmy Kilgore, the sheriff of Talladega County. Sheriff, good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you for being with us. And
Absolutely.
the election is just a few days away, but you got a lot of things going on.
Well, busy time for us at the sheriff's office, but it's the election day is getting closer, thank goodness.
No doubt about it. And it's been a long haul, and takes time out of your normal day, work day, and making sure you're out there before the public as much as you possibly can too.
It does. It really does.
Let's go back and look and talk about, maybe for those who are not that familiar with Sheriff Kilgore, talk about you were first appointed, is that right?
I was.
And then let's go for the process from there.
Well, I got appointed in 2013 to fill the Sheriff Stutter's unexpired term, and then we did that for nearly 2 years, and then 2014 the good citizens of the county elected me to serve a full term as their sheriff, which we're wrapping up now. And I can tell you the 4 years go by quick.
Some of the pledges that you made to the citizens before the 4-year vote last time, have you been able to do most of those? Are some of it in a process or continued to be on the table as getting things done?
Well, I think we have. It's any time in law enforcement field, it's a work in progress, because we're here and our purpose is to serve the citizens and help protect our communities, our schools, things of that nature, and we continue to focus on that. We've done a lot of the things as far as partnering with the county school board. We're very proud that we were able to now get an SRO at each campus, at each county school, and because we're take very seriously the task of protecting our children and our educators, and that's a big thing that we've been able to accomplish that we're very proud of.
One thing recently that the sheriff's office made news about is the jail itself. And I thought that the jail was absolutely full, but yet you're able to take some of the federal prisoners and house them for a little while.
We are. And we had intended to do that early on when we expanded the facility. But at that time, the administration had a freeze on local agency contracts, and we couldn't do that. And now I think there's more arrests being made and more pretrial prisoners for the marshals, and we reached out again and were able to get a contract with them to house them, and it'll help supplement the revenue coming in to pay for the bond payment on the jail expansion, and that is another piece of the puzzle to keep the citizens from having to foot that burden.
Talk about the expansion of the facility and the bond measure that is there, and you never stay still. You gotta keep improving. You gotta keep building, because they're going to keep coming.
We opened the facility from the old jail downtown by the Judicial Building in '93, and in '94 it was over capacity. So, learning from the past mistakes, we wanted to do it to expand the facility, one, and not be under a federal court order or anything to do it, because it costs the citizens more that way. So we were able to do that. We wanted to learn from the past of building it big enough for the future, because the bond payment takes you into the future. And so we were able to do that. We're able to partner with our great municipal partners to fund the Metro jail and house the Metro inmates. And everybody wins there. They get out of the jail business, and they pay us to help make the bond payment to house their inmates. So we were able to do that and expand the facility, and without costing the taxpayers an additional dime. And we thought that was a win-win for everybody.
You surrounded yourself with men and women of like thinking that bring experience to the table, and it makes it a whole lot easier on you as sheriff that you've got these men and women that can do A, B, C, and D, and you don't have to worry about it.
Pretty wise old football coach said one time, key to success is surround yourself with good people. And I've been truly blessed to be able to do that. And I tell people every day that not only am I fortunate, but the citizens of this county are fortunate, because I would stack up the people that work in Talladega County Sheriff's Office against anyone in the state. I truly believe that.
Yeah. Election is just a few days away. For people who know Jimmy Kilgore, what you see is what you get. There's no pretense. And you just go about your job every day.
We do. We do. You know, and I want to address this too. The sheriffs of Alabama have kind of taken a hit recently on the food bill issue with the jails. And I'm very proud that I'm not involved in that, because I don't get the food bill money. I'm fortunate in the fact that the commission handles that. There was a former county administrator that tried to give it to me, and I didn't want to be in the restaurant business. I wanted to be sheriff, and so that's one thing that I get asked a lot.
That's become a big monster in our state.
It has, and I'm very proud to say I'm one of the few counties that I don't get the money. So it's really been a bear to wrestle with, because the law requires the sheriff to be personally responsible, and you know, when you get into taking taxpayer funds, it's just a tricky thing, and I'm very hopeful that the legislature will resolve it for everybody this upcoming session.
How old is that facility? What, 90?
We built it in 93, and then 2008 we expanded it.
Where are we now with this facility?
We went from originally 125 beds to 485 beds. And some of those, it sounds like a monstrosity. Some of those are dormitory style housing, you know, which allows us to house like the federal inmates or something like that. But, you know, it's when you operate a jail, it's like operating a small city, because the people can't leave. You have to feed them, house them, give them medical, do their laundry, all that stuff. So the infrastructure had to be expanded as well. So it's, but we're very, very proud of it, and it's a nice, secure facility.
Describe the inmates that are at the Talladega County Jail. I'm not asking name by name, but a general description of the prisoners that are in your facility.
You know, a lot of people don't really realize, but a county jail houses everything from a bad check writer or a child support to a capital murder suspect, and we've got, you know, the gamut in there. But most of the people, unfortunately, that are in there now are in there either for drug offenses or drug-related crimes, maybe stealing to support their drug habit, things of that nature. And that's a big portion of the inmate population.
Saw just a couple of days ago where this is a work release program over in Childersburg, but any facility is susceptible to someone walking away, or someone that is trying to bring drugs, even law enforcement agents themselves bringing drugs into that facility, and that's such a no-no.
Absolutely. Everybody I know that runs a jail fights that fight. And I had this conversation with a citizen yesterday talking about that, and I said, you know, we battle that. We take steps to prevent it and deter it every day. But they faced that same issue across the street from our jail is the federal prison. I said, those people print their own money and they can't. You know, it's just a constant battle, and it's part of running a jail or a detention facility. You're going to fight that fight.
Is it really offensive to you when one of your own?
Breaks my heart.
Yeah.
It really does. And you know, and we take great strides when we hire people to work in there to explain that to them. And you know, but some of those inmates are very convincing, you know, and some of them fall into the trap. And unfortunately, you know, we have to address it when it happens.
Let's talk about vehicles. Put a lot of miles on these vehicles every year.
They do. I mean, a lot of what we do, not only do we provide the general law enforcement services to the unincorporated areas of the county, but we also service all the courts, the juvenile court, circuit, district, probate court, and housing the inmates. And as such, we haul inmates all over the state of Alabama. And so we roll the miles up on these vehicles. Not only that, doing civil process, serving papers and things of that nature. And the county commission has been very kind to us and works well with us in implementing a rotation program to where, you know, we get X number of vehicles every year, and then we pull the old ones, the highest
So we
mileage
expect
off the
something in
line.
19?
We do.
Okay.
Yeah. They've bought us, normally they bought us 5 every year. And then I always try to, with my discretionary funds, I always try to supplement that with another one or two.
All right. Jimmy Kilgore, our guest this morning. He is sheriff of Talladega County, running for re-election coming up next week. And with violence in our nation at such a fevered pitch, even in our courtrooms, violence breaks out. And I guess it's something that, you know, on a local level, you have to be aware of that, hey, this could happen anytime, any place, anywhere.
Absolutely it can. Absolutely it can. We're certainly not immune to it. And you know, we train our people and you know, take tremendous steps to ensure everybody's safety in the courtrooms, in the courthouse environment. And just like we do the schools, the active shooter training and things, because you have to prepare because you never know.
Had the shooting in the synagogue just a few days ago, and uptick on churches wanting to find out more, to be able to protect themselves more.
And that's one thing our office does. Part of our community outreach programs is run, hide, fight, an active shooter scenario. And we have a worship center protection program. We go out, if you'll call our office, we'll send someone out who's trained to teach that and you know what to do. And it's something that's unfortunate, but it's the world we live in today, and we've got to prepare.
It is, no doubt about it. If you had to do it all over again, would you?
Absolutely. It's been quite an honor to serve as sheriff. I never thought when I got in law enforcement that'd be the direction I would take. But it's been one of the great honors of my life to serve as the sheriff for the good people of Talladega County. And, you know, I hope they see fit to allow me to continue to serve.
That's coming up next week. Midterm elections and local county elections as well. And Sheriff, we wish you the best.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you for coming by this morning. We got more Daybreak in just a minute.